it is time for a life reset. So I have compiled a list of all of the things that I want to accomplish over the next couple of days to get ready for the new year and just make sure that I start 2025 off on the right foot. As you can tell, and as you saw, I've already completed a couple of items on the list, including making a meal plan, going grocery shopping, getting gas for my car, washing my hair, but there's still plenty, and I mean plenty, there's 2 pages for us to go through in order to make sure that we make steps towards becoming the best versions of ourselves in 2025. And I'm gonna start by cleaning my kitchen because it's a bit of a mess right now since I've had lunch, went grocery shopping and everything. I think we need to do a little bit of a cleaning session so that our surfaces are wiped and just my apartment is clean. Alright, now that I've completed some of the more physical tasks from my list, it is time for me to do something that I find to be deeply satisfying, and that is cleaning up my devices. So we're talking deleting old apps, deleting old contacts, making sure that I back up any video files that I want to keep onto a hard drive, and deleting photos, videos, anything that I'm not using anymore, cleaning up my social media, cleaning up my subscriptions, making sure that I review all of them and keep only the ones that I actually use, and just do like a little bit of a digital detox. So I'm gonna go through my phone first and just delete anything that is no longer useful. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with my laptop because I do have a lot of files on there as well. So let's do a little bit of a cleaning session. I feel like it's gonna be very freeing to no longer have this many apps and whatever on my devices. I know it looks like I have barely moved, but I promise I've made progress. I have been journaling for the past, I want to say hour or something. It's not something that I take on very regularly, but I don't know why. There's something about this time of year where I just want to reflect, and I feel like it's going to help me hone in on my goals. I already had started compiling a list of the things that I want to accomplish in 2025, but I don't know, I kind of needed that moment of reflection on 2024 because it was such a weird year for me. A lot changed, but I also feel like I've been stagnant in some areas in my life. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with the details of my journal entry, but I just thought that this was something that I didn't put on the reset list, but I kind of needed. I feel like I have more clarity now going into 2025, and I kind of know what I want life to look like in the next year. So because it's getting late, well, it's only 9:30, it's not that late, but I don't necessarily want to get into this now, but I think tomorrow I want to do like a vision board. This is something that I do every year, but I am feeling inspired and motivated to finalize my goals and make the vision board for 2025. So let's make a vision board. Alright, so here's the final result. I have chosen pictures that align with my goals, and because I'm satisfied with it, I'm going to save it and use it as my laptop screensaver. And I think I might also do a mobile version so that I can put it as my phone background as well. Now let's talk goals. Every year I select 3 to 5 categories that represent areas in my life that I want to grow in. This year I went with personal, health and fitness, and reading. I also selected a word of the year. This year I went with intentional. I just want to be more intentional. I feel like last year I did not necessarily put in the work to achieve my goals, and I did manage to complete some of them, but I feel like it was by pure luck. I did not put in the time and effort that was required in order to reach my goals, and yet I still kind of managed to achieve some of them, but some areas left me disappointed. This year I don't want that to happen, and so by aligning my goals with this word specifically, eventually I feel like we're gonna head in the right direction. Now let's dive into my personal goals. Number one, I want to document my life more. I'm thinking of taking pictures or videos that just romanticize the everyday, because I feel like I remember the big moments in a year. I remember the trips, the big events, the eventful moments that need to be remembered. However, I feel like sometimes I forget the small things that make a year great. I just want to be better at remembering what goes on in a year, what goes on in my life, and I feel like romanticizing the everyday through taking pictures or videos is going to help me achieve that. I have kind of a sub goal in order to measure this goal, and that is I want to post at least one photo dump per month on Instagram. This is just to hold me accountable. It's not necessarily because I want to grow my account or anything like that. It's just so that I remember to take those pictures and those videos that will, at the end of the month, make the photo dump. Goal number two, I want to prioritize the relationships in my life. Especially now that I've moved into this new space, I want to make sure that I spend some time and just take the time to connect with the people that mean the most to me. For instance, friends, family, just I want to make sure that I am prioritizing those people and not taking them for granted. I would also like to grow my social circles, so making new friends, meeting new people, maybe even dating. I just want to continue nurturing the relationships that I have going on in my life while also putting in the work and effort to meet new people and grow my social circles. Goal number three, I want to carve out time for my hobbies in my schedule. In 2024, this is where I discovered cozy hobbies. So I started gaming, coloring, I continued reading, obviously, did some puzzles, and now in 2025, I just want to make sure that I'm dedicating time to partaking in those hobbies on a weekly or daily basis. So I want to make sure that I have set times in my schedule that are meant for me to explore this creative side of me and just help me achieve this balance in my life, and cozy hobbies are great for that. And finally, in the personal category, I want to stick to a budget. As I've mentioned, I have moved and am now in my own space, and so I want to make sure that I am spending my money wisely. Now let's move on to the health and fitness category. Goal number one is that I want to lose weight. I have an actual numerical goal in mind as well as a weight goal that I want to achieve within the year, but I'm not too comfortable sharing that on the internet, so I'm just going to skip that. That being said, I did want to quickly mention why I have this goal in mind. I know this can be triggering for some people, so feel free to hop ahead if this is something that you don't want to hear about. But basically, last year I went to see my doctor. She told me that I had high blood pressure, and one of the reasons why could be because I had been gaining weight steadily over the past few years. So I took it upon myself to make some healthy changes into my life to try to get back to a more normal weight. And I lost 20 pounds in the process. I feel happier, I feel healthier, I just felt better in my own body, and I want to continue down that path. Goal number two, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the first goal, is that I want to walk on average 5,000 steps a day. Now I know it doesn't sound like a lot. That being said, I looked at my average step count for the past year and it was like at 4,000 something. So I feel like 5,000 is not stretching it too much. And because I have a sedentary job, I have a desk job, so obviously I'm not walking that much, but I kind of want to force myself to walk more outside of work maybe. And finally, goal number three in the health and fitness category is I want to cook more. I am now living by myself, as I've said numerous times in this segment alone, but I just want to make sure that I'm nourishing myself with the best foods possible, and I feel like it's a basic skill learning how to cook, so I definitely want to make that a priority in 2025. Finally, let's look at my reading goals. So I have a lot of intentions with reading and not so much like numerical goals like I had in the past. Number one, I want to create a sustainable reading routine. I have lost touch with reading in the past 2 years, I want to say. I just have not been reading as much. I haven't been enjoying reading as much. I feel like it's because I was burnt out for a while and that took away the fun in reading, hence why I took a YouTube break to begin with. But now I feel like I need to slowly reintegrate reading into my daily life, and so creating a sustainable reading routine is going to help me achieve that. Goal number two is I want to discover 5 new all-time favorite authors. So the rules are simple. For me, an all-time favorite author, I need to have read 3 different books of theirs and given them a 5 stars. So it cannot be within the same series. It has to be different works. So for instance, if I've read a trilogy and gave all books in that trilogy 5 stars, they are considered one book. Right now I have 5 authors that I would consider all-time favorites. This year I just want to read more from the authors that I already know I enjoy and try to see if they could potentially become all-time favorites. Goal number 3, I want to diversify my reading. So diversifying my reading for me means in terms of formats. So not only reading physical books, but also audiobooks and ebooks. Also means in terms of genres. So I read a lot of romance. That's my primary genre. It's my favorite one, but I want to diversify what I'm reading, maybe dabbling into mysteries, maybe reading more fantasy, maybe trying lit fic, just expanding my horizons. And I also want to make sure that I'm reading from diverse authors. Goal number 4 is I want to lower my physical TBR to 0.
go. And this year, I am serious. I know I've said this like every single year. I feel like since I've joined BookTube, I had this goal of lowering my physical TBR. But this year, we're serious. I'm actually putting myself on a book buying ban, and a real one at that. Let me just move on to my next goal because it's what's actually gonna help us get there. My goal is to spend $0 on books this year. If I wanna purchase a new book, because I am allowed, the only way I can do that is through cashback. So like if I bring my soda cans to the store and like they give me money for it, through gift cards, or I need to find other ways to fund my book purchases. So I could be selling stuff, but that money cannot come from my current account. And finally, a recurring goal for me is to catch up to series that I've already started. So I want to complete or catch up to 10 series this year. This is a number that I reached last year, and I feel like it's achievable this year again. So those are my goals. Let me know what your goals are in the comments down below. And now let's continue with the reset.
I have decided to tackle the bookshelves. So when I moved in, my dad just put all of my books onto my bookshelves, but did not care to put them in any specific order or even to keep series together, obviously. So I have been struggling with my bookshelves since I've moved in because every time I want to pick up a book, I feel like I'm just looking for my books on my shelves. So we're gonna change that today and just reorganize the whole thing. We're gonna take everything off and kind of put together a little bit of an organizational system so that it's easier to find books and at the very least put series back together. Step one is done. I have taken all of the books off of my shelves. I got a little bit hot while doing it. I think I'm gonna change because I'm a bit too hot. I had to put my hair up because I couldn't deal anymore. But this is the mess that I've created. How do I own so many books? I low-key regret doing this because now I see the amount of books that I have to sort and organize, and I'm just kind of regretting my life choices, but we started. We have to continue because otherwise it's gonna be a mess for a couple of days and I don't want that. So I'm gonna try to figure out the organizational system now because I think it's gonna go by genre, but I'm not entirely sure. So we've completed the shelves, and I'll be honest, I don't love them. Like, they're fine, but they're not exactly what I wanted. I almost liked it better before, but it's okay. It's not great, but at least it's somewhat organized, so that should make it easier for me to find my books from now on. And you know what I realized when I was doing this? I have a lot of books that I honestly don't know if I still care about them. Like, I wondered why I moved those books to begin with, because to be honest, I haven't wanted to pick them up in a while. Some of these I bought a while back. Some of these I read a while ago and liked them at the time, but I'm not sure I still like them now. Anyway, all of that to say, I think an unhaul is due in my near future because it's kind of a mess. And also, I'm not sure I like the black bookshelf in the middle. I think I kind of want to get like 2 new Billy bookcases. I feel like that would just space everything out, let everything breathe, especially as I still have 4 more boxes at home filled with books. Yeah, I kid you not. So we're gonna need to do a little bit of a reorganizing situation, but that's a project for another day. You know what? I was looking at the list and the only thing that is left on it is to create a budget for 2025. And I feel like I need to do some research before diving into that because I've never built my own budget. I've never used any templates or anything. So I kind of want to dive in before creating my own. And so I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching and I wish you a happy new year.